You have watched 200 astrology videos. You have saved 50 reels. You have taken screenshots of charts. You know what Saturn in the 7th or any other house means. You know Rahu in the 10th. You know about retrograde planets, and still, if someone gives you a full birth chart today, you freeze. Why? Because random astrology learning feels like progress, but it quietly keeps you stuck. Let's begin with something most learners don't like hearing. Consuming astrology content is not the same as learning astrology. It feels similar, it looks productive, but it is structurally different. Random learning creates fragments. Astrology requires systems, and fragments never become mastery. Actually, there is this illusion of I know this already. If we think like that I know this is how it usually happens. You watch a video on Saturn in the 7th house, next day you watch Venus in Scorpio, then you watch the video on Rahu Mahadesha, then Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. You watch so many videos, and then you watch marriage timing secrets. Each topic makes sense individually. You nod your head. Yes, this feels right. You feel smart. You even explain it to a friend. But when you open a real chart, you don't know where to begin. Because astrology is not house by house knowledge. It is interconnected interpretation. And random learning never teaches this connection. Be honest with yourself. Have you ever felt like you know a lot but still can't confidently analyze a full chart? If yes, comment I need structure. That acknowledgement is powerful because the first step out of confusion is admitting it exists. Here is why random learning feels addictive. Random astrology content gives instant gratification, short videos, sharp conclusions, clear statements that Saturn in 7th delays marriage, Rahu in 10th gives ambition, strong Venus gives luxury. It's clean, it's simple, memorable. But real charts are messy. What if Saturn delays but is also Yog Karak? What if Rahu gives ambition but destroys the stability? What if Venus gives luxury but damages relationships? Now things are complicated. Random learning avoids complication. Structured learning embraces it. So your brain needs patterns to build expertise. When you learn randomly, there is no sequence, there is no reinforcement, there is no layered building, there is no case based integration. It's like learning medicine by watching random surgery clips. You may recognize tools, but you cannot perform diagnosis. Astrology is diagnosis first, predictions comes later, remedies comes last. Random learning reverses the order, and that's why people stay stuck for years. If you are serious about becoming competent, not just informed, subscribe the channel. Here we focus on structured thinking because thinking patterns are what turns information into skill. Here is a hard truth. Random astrology learning can keep you in beginner mode for 5 to 7 years. You will know terminology, you recognize yogas, identify placements, quote classical statements as well. But you won't synthesize houses, you won't evaluate planetary strength properly, you won't be able to read dashas contextually, you will not be able to use divisional charts confidently, and the worst part is you won't realize that you are stuck. Because content consumption feels like growth, but growth requires discomfort. Structure forces you to slow down. Random learning lets you stay comfortable, and comfort blocks mastery. There is another subtle consequence. Random learning inflates confidence prematurely. You start giving advice. You interpret friends' charts casually. You suggest remedies. But without foundation, you risk misguiding. Astrology is powerful, but half understanding creates overconfidence. Overconfidence creates real life consequences. And once you make wrong calls confidently, repairing credibility becomes harder. If you truly want to move beyond scattered knowledge, you need sequential learning. Then you need structured foundation, repeated case studies, guided analysis, practice. Practice makes the man perfect. We already know that. But then who does the practice? That is what is required in astrology learning, and our structured programs are designed exactly for this transition from random learning to systematic thinking. The link is below. If you are ready to stop circling and start progressing, take that step. So, what structured learning actually does? Structured astrology learning builds the foundation thinking. It builds your foundation thinking before the prediction techniques come into the picture. It teaches how houses interact, not just what they mean. It develops strength analysis before remedies. It trains your mind to see context before conclusions. It uses case studies to bridge theory and reality. That's how interpretation maturity develops. Without structure, knowledge stays theoretical. And with structure, knowledge becomes applied intelligence. There is a psychological cost of staying random. Staying in random mode creates a quiet frustration. You will think, maybe astrology is too complex. Maybe I am not meant for this. Maybe I need more content. But the issue is not intelligence, it's architecture. Without a curriculum, your learning has no spine. And without a spine, growth collapses under complexity. If this video felt slightly uncomfortable, it's good. Discomfort means you recognize the pattern. Share this with someone who keeps binge watching astrology but never studying it. And if you are ready to move from scattered learning to structured mastery, commit today. Don't just collect knowledge, build capability. Random astrology learning feels exciting. Structured astrology learning feels demanding. One entertains you, the other transforms you. If you stay random, you stay dependent. If you embrace structure, you build authority. The choice is simple, but the discipline is yours. Stop circling, start building.